Hi folks, Adrian here from Wargaming for Fun. Going to introduce to you today an idea that Ubique-Matt's come up with for bolt action pins. They're quite important in the game, and when you start seeing the battle reports you'll see these in action. In the games of bolt action that we do, these do tidy the battlefield up. So Matt, tell us the raw ingredients that you start with.
Well, first off, you start off with the 40mm diameter acrylic base, and this is to suit standard Games Workshop dice.
Oh yeah, the ones that you buy in the cubes.
Yep, simple as that. Yep. First off, we key the base with emery board sandpaper, and this provides a key for glue and the plastic and the various components you'll see later. You use old leftover figure sprues to create the frame which will hold the dice.
So that's what we saw when you fit the sprue round the outside of the dice to make sure you get it to the right size, and then it's just a case of making left-handed joints out of them.
Yep. So here I'm just trimming the sprue to suit the individual dice, because you can use different sized dice, and these are just trimmed to exact sizes.
Cool. So once you're happy with that, you glue it in place. What glue are you using there?
Just standard super glue.
Okay. Right, so that's the frame in place holding the dice. What are these that you're adding now?
Yeah, those are just wood screws, and then again super glued into position. You can either use 2 or 3. 3 gives the impression of a spatter of gunfire.
Right, okay. What's that white substance over there?
White is normal wood glue or PVA glue.
Yeah, it looks quite thick.
I don't dilute it there because I want to create a thick base which will hide the frame.
Okay, yeah, okay. A splattering of covering. Yeah. So once that's dry, what do you do if certain areas haven't been covered?
Well, you'll notice in this part of the video I'm emphasising, because you can still see the thread on the screw. So again, I'm building up more layers in the wood glue, and again I'll dip the entire base in sand again.
Okay, so that's to hide the thread on the screws, you say?
Yes. And here, all I'm doing is removing unwanted shapes and sand from the model with a cocktail stick.
Yeah, so if you get any random shapes that look a bit weird, you can take them off.
Just fade them away.
So that's dry. Now you're using an enamel paint there as a primer. Is there a reason you're using that?
This is only because I live in a flat and I can't spray.
Ah, okay.
So once the enamel's dry, I then use Games Workshop Steel Legion Drab.
Oh, it's the earth colour.
As a base colour.
Yeah. That looks like quite a generous coating you're putting on there.
It's my messy effort. The first layer doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It just, you don't want the total covering.
Okay. Now this is an ink you're using, Matt. How come you're using an ink?
This is to create a darker contrast, because it's not my usual method. This is one I use to match your bases for bolt action. Right.
Then you're overbrushing again to give the depth with Steel Legion Drab again.
Yeah.
And then there's that flesh shade.
And just building up various highlights.
Yeah. Quite effective for the depth.
It does work.
Quite interesting that you put the varnish on now. Is there a reason for doing that so early?
Simply because afterwards, when you start putting the grass on, you can't brush on varnish afterwards over the grass and the tufts. Okay.
And then what you've done there is PVA glue in certain areas.
Yep.
And then looks like a flock, grass flock.
It's a simple flock.
Yep. And then the good old tufts.
You can use super glue, which will speed up the method.
Yeah. The key thing you're looking for is for it to dry clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then aging the grass a bit, and then what we see here is the finished product, which looks good. Refer to the pictures that we showed you at the beginning of the video. You can use normal dice to do it all the way through, but more often than not you pick up the dice and roll them and you forget how many pins you've got. Whereas these, it's a feature on the table, it looks good and relatively cheap to make.
And you can make a dozen of these in one evening.
Right.
Obviously you wouldn't do individual dice markers, you'd make a batch and work through them. Yeah. Completing one process, go to the next one.
And this is the one that you've got for your Soviet army, isn't it?
It is, yes.
10 units worth there.
Yeah.
And they do look very good. Thanks for that, Matt.
No, you're welcome, mate.
And if you'd like to see more Make It with Ubique-Matt, then let us know. And as always, folks, if you could like this, if you like it, it does help us out.